Hello, I'm Armin Budish. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, we resolve to help with your New Year's health resolutions. Then, when should you involve your family in your finances? We'll relate the right response. The West Side Market is still cooking at 100 years old. We'll share the recipe for its success. Plus, looking for ways to get a jump on the job market? Our interview helps get you hired. And how to avoid the Medicare enrollment trap.
It's time to get GOing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. Over the holidays, overindulging is as easy as pie and cookies and cake, but those waist-widening temptations can also herald harmful heartburn. Dr. Ronnie Foss is here today with easy-to-swallow advice for overcoming unremitting indigestion. Dr. Foss is the new director of gastroenterology at Metro Health. Thanks for joining us, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Armin, for having me.
So we all get heartburn once in a while from overeating, overindulging, but some of us get heartburn all year round, all the time. What's going on there?
So we have to remember that many of us, actually about 40% of the adult population in the U.S. have what we call gastroesophageal reflux disease. And that could be the manifestation of that disorder. And what is it is that there is a malfunction of the sphincter, the valve between the esophagus and the stomach, and it just doesn't work very well for many of us. And as a result, stomach content may wash back into the esophagus, leading to heartburn.
And is that called GERD? Is that what we've heard as GERD?
Yeah, it's GERD is the abbreviation of gastroesophageal reflux disease.
And so what, heartburn, we all know, does it cause other symptoms too?
Oh yes, it causes a variety of symptoms, all the way from heartburn, as you mentioned, but it can also can lead to a lot of burping. It can lead also to stomach acid coming back all the way to the mouth. It can cause also sour taste in the mouth. So there are various symptoms.
Okay, and I'm looking at causes. Does our weight have anything to do with getting GERD?
Oh yes, unfortunately, we see it more in the last few years as our weight increases in the general population. And there is a close correlation between weight and symptoms of gastroesophageal reflux disease.
Right, so, we have heartburn, we have the acid reflux, whatever. Can this cause long-lasting problems?
Yes. Actually, gastroesophageal reflux disease can cause a variety of complications.
Like what?
For example, like inflammation in the esophagus, what we call erosive esophagitis. It can cause narrowing of the esophagus, what we call stricture. It can cause ulceration in the esophagus. It can even cause precancerous changes in the esophagus, called Barrett's esophagus, and even cancer of the esophagus, which is, by the way, the fastest rising cancer in this country today.
So you mentioned weight as a reason why we get this or enhances it. Does that mean that if we lose weight, we can get rid of the heartburn and the reflux and the GERD?
That's true. If you lose weight, and there is sufficient evidence to support that, you can reduce your symptoms, you can improve all the potential complications and even the inflammation in your esophagus.
Is there medication or some other treatment if just losing weight isn't the answer for us?
Of course. If you have long-term history of heartburn, you should probably see a physician and tell them about these symptoms, because there are a variety of medications that they can offer you to treat this problem, and usually they are pretty effective.
Are there downsides? Are there, I don't know what you call it, bad things that can happen if you take medications for GERD?
As long as you stick to what your physician tells you, then these medications are relatively safe. Obviously, like any other medications, there are potential of side effects in the short term and then potentially side effects in the long term. But overall, they're pretty safe medications.
Are there things, by the way, that we should avoid eating if we have this problem? I mean, spicy foods obviously are long gone out of my diet. Are those things that we have to watch out for?
Yes. Usually what I recommend to patients is to stick to whatever they feel exacerbate or causes their symptoms and avoid that, rather than give them a long laundry list of what to avoid. But if you ask me in general, yes, spicy food, large meals, fatty meal, chocolate, peppermint.
Don't say it.
Yeah, orange juice, tomato juice, all have been shown to cause symptoms.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Very good information. So heartburn can be hazardous to your health. If persistent indigestion has become your pattern, it could be GERD. Get yourself to the gastroenterology group at Metro Health. Call 778-5736 for more information. My thanks to Dr. Foss for feeding us such important information today.
For more information, call Metro Health at 216-778-7800 or visit www.metrohealth.org. Next, when to share your wealth of info on your finances. But first, you know that secure stocks that stack up to big returns are called blue chips. But do you know how they won this colorful name? We bet you can guess, and we'll be all in with the answer when we return.
The FDA has approved a new procedure to relieve lower back pain, and doctors worldwide are using decompression for bulging discs and pain from aging.
Surgery or drugs to cover up your pain are options, but our well-documented, non-invasive procedure treats the cause of your pain. Decompression increases spinal disc space and draws nutrients back into the disc. This helps restore normal disc height and function.
Soul and Spine, 440-248-5070, soulandbackpain.com.
When you play poker, blue chips equal bigger bucks than white or red. So it's a safe bet that blue chip stocks were called by the same color, since they usually yield more money for those taking a chance on the stock market.
Don't ask, don't tell might be obsolete in the military, but that policy is still alive and well in the world of family finances. There does come a time, though, when your need to involve your family in your finances becomes very important. Certified financial planner Jim Lineweaver is here to add up the reasons why your family needs to know. Jim's with the Lineweaver Financial Group. Thanks for joining us, Jim.
My pleasure.
Jim, so it's my money. Why do I need to tell my kids or others about what I have and where it is?
Well, this is a really touchy subject. It's not easy for people, you know, and when we're talking about communicating things to the family, you want to try to do it with those kids that are trustworthy and responsible about money. Because at some point in time down the road, they may need to step in to help you with your finances. They may need to pay bills, things along that nature. And it's usually not a situation where you want them to be blindsided or run around the house trying to figure out where your checkbook is.
And we've both seen that in our businesses. You know,
yeah.
Somebody dies or somebody becomes incapacitated. Where do they go? What do they do? What do they have? How do they pay the bills? Nobody knows.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, even in my own situation, my dad had had a heart attack and a stroke, and my mom needed to concentrate all her time on my dad. She just didn't want to deal with the bills and other things, so I took it over and was able to make sure, you know, all the bills are paid, keep them in good order until she could take that back on her own responsibility.
So if we recognize the importance of talking this over, what's the first step?
The first step is what you want to do is to actually list out everything you have. So list out your bank accounts, you can list out your wills, and, you know, let everybody know where you're keeping important documents like marriage and birth certificates, any military records, any mortgages, debts that you have, tax returns, anything that you can think of financially related. Try to make sure that you organize that, put that in one place. You might even want to list it out in a computer program somehow, but at least make them aware of where it is if something really happens.
And what about phone numbers and you know, names of professionals and others that can be helpful?
Very important. Make sure it's always there at their fingertips. So get that name of the attorney, the financial advisor, your CPA, any insurance agents that you may deal with. If you have a safety deposit box, make sure you let them know which branch of the bank that it's at and everything. Make it very easy for the kids to help out, because it's usually going to come at a time that's going to be very stressful when they're really going to try to just concentrate on your care.
All right, now let's get more specific in terms of day-to-day. What next can the child or trusted other person do to help?
What happens is a lot of people that are retired today didn't grow up with a lot of computers, but it's actually very safe to do online banking and setting up everything automatic. You know, Social Security checks are already coming automatically to a lot of people, but try to get any other income that you have coming in, get directly deposited to your checking account. Try to make sure that any bills you have to pay, your utilities or gas bills or anything else that you may have, insurance payments, that can be done electronically back out. It's very easy to consolidate them, and it's just done automatically. It can really give yourself ease of use as well as any kids in the future.
Making it easier for a child to actually get involved. There are certain steps you have to take to authorize a child to do that, isn't there?
You do. And as a matter of fact, you can make them joint on an account if you want, but sometimes there's additional liability with that if they happen to get sued. What you could also do is get a durable power of attorney, which would be a document that you can give to the bank or the institution, and that will allow that person to act on your behalf. It could be simply pension income all the way to signing checks at the bank.
Now, you have done something that I haven't seen a lot of others do that makes it actually easier to get things in one place.
Yeah, we take care of all this for our clients, and there's no charge. And what it is, it's right through our website. It's an online service that we have, and it literally links all their checking accounts and savings accounts and investments and retirement plans all together. And then we have a vault that has a tax return, and you can put your wills and trusts and powers of attorney all in there. So even if you're traveling and if you needed it, it'd be right there at your fingertips, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Great information, Jim. Thank you very much. So yes, it is your money, but when it comes to your finances, don't ask, don't tell, don't work. So don't wait. Use Jim's tips and talk to your adult children. Do it now. It'll pay off for everyone in the long run. My thanks to Jim for telling us what we can do.
Learn more by calling the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or log on to www.lineweaver.net. Next, a centennial celebration. Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. Why not explore a wet winter wonderland this season by diving into Cleveland's most aquatic holiday experience? It's the Greater Cleveland Aquarium. Through January 1st, larger-than-life decorations, crafts, and music will transform this underwater world into a winter wonderland. To learn more, call 216-862-8803 or click to www.greaterclevelandaquarium.com.
Family traditions are cherished. Just deviate, though, from the usual and be prepared for a fight with your family. There's one Cleveland tradition that inarguably transcends seasons and has lasted a century. It's the West Side Market. Although she doesn't have to sell us, Mary Lou Susko is here to number the reasons why this landmark is such a great tradition. Mary Lou is the co-author with Laura Taxel of Cleveland's West Side Market, 100 Years and Still Cooking. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me here.
So this book, I've been looking through it, and it has tasty, true tales about the building and about the vendors and the people who shop there. For many people, this really is a tradition to go to the West Side Market.
Absolutely. The market is full of tradition. Tradition plays out every day at the market. A lot of people that come to the market shop like their parents used to shop. They shop with the same vendors. Maybe they get the same kind of food. Whatever is important to their table, whether it's a holiday or a special celebration, the market is a place where a lot of people come together.
And let's focus on the holidays. What's different about the market during the holidays?
Well, there's a couple of things that are different about the holidays. One is a lot of people come to the market at the holidays and they bring in family and friends who are from out of town and they show off our market because our market is so worth showing off. The other thing that happens, and that we found as we were researching this book and talking to a lot of people over the past 2 years, is that you're looking for the types of foods that define your culture or your particular family celebration. So if you make nut roll, you're looking for blue poppy seed. And one of the few places to get blue poppy seed, not black poppy seed, because blue is sweeter, is at the West Side Market. Or maybe there's a specific cut of meat that you like to bring to the table, something that's kind of an indulgence or decadent. That's where you go to the West Side Market because the butchers are still there to trim that for you. Or marzipan pigs, which are very central to a lot of German celebrations.
So speaking of black poppy seed and blue poppy seed, if I go to the West Side Market now and it's almost Christmas, will I turn black and blue because I'm trampled by the crowds?
No, you won't. A lot of people do show up at the market during the holidays, but you can get around that in a couple of ways. You can come early or you can come later in the day, but you can just come anytime during the day and really just enjoy being there with people from all around the city. Chances are you're going to be standing in line waiting for something or admiring something or kind of discovering what's in the cases. And you're going to be standing next to somebody who's one of your Cleveland neighbors. So people tend to meet other people during the holidays. They share recipes. They talk about each other's traditions. It's really a great way to get to know your Cleveland neighbor.
Over the holidays, operating hours.
Operating hours, luckily this year the market hasn't changed their regular hours because holidays fall around the market hours. So it's open Monday and Wednesday, 7 until 4, and then Friday and Saturday from 7 until 6.
Very good. And is there a quick story you can share with us from the book?
There's a million quick stories.
Got to be a quick one.
Okay, a quick one. Well, I think a lot of your readers are going to recognize a lot of references in the book to the Hildebrandt Meat Company. A lot of people, whether you as a kid or whether you worked in the steel mills, you're going to remember that a lot of your lunches included Hildebrandt sliced meats. And they had 2 stands at the market, starting from the very beginning in 1912 up until 1971.
And the stories are in here, and you can catch up and reminisce and have all kinds of good times.
It's a great reminiscence. Whether you haven't been to the market for a while, have never been to the market, or have been to the market quite a lot, you're going to find a lot in this book to really enjoy.
Thank you, Mary Lou.
Oh, thank
Great
you so
information. Much. If it's not already part of your family tradition, you'll want to visit the West Side Market. You can also visit its past and present by just giving a present of Mary Lou's book, Cleveland's West Side Market, 100 Years and Still Cooking. To order it, use the information coming up next. My thanks to Mary Lou for a delicious visit.
To learn more or to order the book, call 1-800-247-6553 or visit www.uakron.edu/UAPress. Next, reconstructing your career. It's time to get up and go. An exercise minute on golden opportunities.
Hello, I'm Mike Heartburn from Breakout Fitness, and today we are going to work our abdominals and our hip flexors by doing knee to chest raises. This is a great exercise. We're not going to need anything but a chair, okay? We're going to sit on the very edge of the chair. We're going to lean back so our shoulder blades are touching. Now grab either side of the chair so that way you give yourself a little more support. And simply bring your knees to your chest, all the way up, good job, squeeze, and all the way back down. Slow and controlled movements. You want to take big, deep breaths as you do the exercise. How does that feel?
I don't think my knees are supposed to be making these cracking noises.
You're doing great, buddy. Just all the way up and all the way down, full range of motion. 12 to 15 repetitions, 2 to 3 times a week. You'll be on your way to a stronger core. All right, everybody. Now it's your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, please send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 23240 Chagrin Boulevard, Suite 450, Beechwood, Ohio, 44122.
We know the job market's been brutal and that many folks have been searching for months. But finding a job when you're on the very, very far side of 20 can be even more challenging. Diana Miller is the Executive Director of Community Job Club, and she's here with tips to help the well-seasoned job seeker hear you're hired. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
So I understand that the Community Job Club is a nonprofit organization. How does it help the mature, unemployed, hopeful worker?
Well, there's many things that we do. In particular, we offer 2 free job club meetings a month, and that helps job seekers feel that they're not alone, because when you're laid off, especially from a job that you've had for a long time, it can be very isolating. So, we give them tips on resources they may not be aware of, like low cost or no cost health care. We also partner with the Record Courier to host several job fairs throughout the year. And although we're located in the Stowe area at Stratford Place, it's a donated office space by Interchez Properties. We get job seekers from all over, from Cleveland, Monroe Falls, Cuyahoga Falls, Akron, Canton.
All right, so we all know that there are certain problems with hiring for older people, age bias being one. Do older folks face other unique challenges when they're out looking?
They do, especially if someone's been in their same position for a number of years. Often they haven't had a resume, and that's a challenge today in writing a value-based resume to really highlight what you have to offer. And then using social media such as LinkedIn, Facebook for job search, or even filling out online job applications can certainly be a challenge for older workers.
Do you help them with all those things? Help them with the resume, help them with the online stuff that many of them may never have used?
Yes, we do. We have a lot of workshops on, writing resumes, interview skills. We invite in speakers to address those issues. We even have mentors that will meet with them to review their resumes and help them with that.
All these things that we've been talking about, free services, but you also have some that go even beyond that do have a charge with them.
We do. We have a program called the 5 Steps to Rapid Employment, which is an excellent program. The first step is really dealing with that emotional roller coaster that people find themselves when they're in transition. And then we deal with asking that question, what do you want to do when you grow up? Even at 60, sometimes that's a hard question to answer. And getting them to really create a positive attitude, because on an interview, if you're depressed or you're still angry about losing your job, it can be a challenge.
Value-based resume, you've used that term a couple times. What's that mean?
That means you really need to highlight your accomplishments. Often I see job seekers will tell the story of the past, and they don't really highlight their accomplishments. Employers want to know, they not only want to know how you did it, they want to know what were the results and what can you do for me.
So the old way to do a resume, just listing all your past stuff, that's not going to sell it for you.
The old resume is dead, as we say.
All right, and there's a couple more steps, a GPS of action. What's that?
Right. We call it a GPS, or a meticulous action plan. It's activities that you need to do on a daily basis to really stay on track of your job search. And, outlining, today I'll do this, tomorrow I'll do that, and really having a foundation to be successful is really important.
Well, all of this is so important, and so many of our viewers can use help, and I appreciate your information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Job hunting has changed. To stay in the game, tackle the task with new skills. Whether it's through free job club meetings or investing in a job skills program or both, that's the work you need to do to get hired. My thanks to Diana for working with us today.
Find out more by calling the Community Job Club at 330-945-5320 and by visiting their website, www.communityjobclub.org. Next, avoid the Medicare enrollment trap.
They haven't been inducted to a Hall of Fame. They don't get stopped for autographs or photos. They don't have entourages or shoe deals. But they still deserve our applause and admiration because they are fighters, believers, heroes. We are the Metro Health System. We are the proud sponsor of the comeback.
When you retired, your company offered really good retiree health insurance, so you opted to delay Medicare and take the coverage. But now the retiree insurance is ending, and Medicare says you can't immediately sign up. Guess what? You've fallen into the Medicare enrollment trap. Here to explain is my very Medicaring law partner, Lori Steiner. Thanks for joining us, Lori.
No problem.
If you're 65 or older, can't you just sign up for Medicare immediately after your private insurance ends?
It's not that simple. People get confused, and that's what causes this costly trap. So if you work past 65 and you continue working and then you actually retire and then you sign up for Medicare Part B, you're all right. You've got 8 months to sign up. It starts immediately. There's no penalties. The problem comes in is if you retire, you stop working, and now you're taking that retiree health insurance coverage. When that ends, you can't sign up for Medicare immediately. You have to wait until January 1st, or the following January 1st, and then when you finally do get Medicare, there's penalties attached to it.
So you might have a several-month gap.
That's a
no
big
insurance.
problem, because you can't apply for Medicare until the January 1st, but it doesn't start until July 1st. So you might have medical bills in that empty time, that non-coverage time. You're personally responsible for that. Huge, huge problem.
And you said that there's penalties too. Are these financial penalties?
Even more, it's financial penalties. You have to add 10% to your Medicare premium for Part B for every year you delayed getting it. So if you retired 3 years ago, and so 3 years have gone by, that penalty is 30%. And it's not just one time up front, it is every payment for every month for the rest of your life.
Wow. So how do we avoid this Medicare enrollment trap?
Well, you have to look at how long your health insurance from your employer might last. You might have to look at your health and your financial situation and how good is Medicare compared to what you've got. It may turn out that it's better to sign up for Medicare Part B when you turn 65, so that later on,
even if you've got the other insurance?
Even if you got the other, maybe you double up for a period of time, or you drop the one. But that avoids the future time when you might have no coverage whatsoever, and that penalty, which can add up to a lot.
So when do you have to take a look at this problem? I mean, do you wait until you're retired and your insurance is about to stop?
Oh, absolutely not. You've got to, as you're planning for that date of retirement, you really have to take a look at what they're going to offer you, take a look at what Medicare might offer you, take a look at, are you continuing working? That's a little different than if you're actually feeling that you're going to retire at that point. And if all else fails, there is a method that you can ask the government to waive the penalty and and start the coverage. You got to write a letter to the Social Security Administration.
All right. Well, good information, Laurie. Thank you very much. Something people don't know.
Absolutely, they don't.
Until it hits, and then it's too late. Thanks. Don't fall into the Medicare enrollment trap. If you do, it could be painful for your pocketbook. For more information, give Laurie a call. Her number's up next.
Call Budish, Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.budishandsolomon.com.
Thanks for joining us. On next week's show, Considering a Retirement Community, we'll list what to look for. Then get a healthy dose of medical news you can use. Plus, resolving to give your teeth more attention in 2013, we have the tools and techniques you need. Until then, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
Would you like to join our kitchen conversation? All you have to do is call toll-free 1-877-765-1543 and leave us your question, name, and phone number. Or log on to www.golden.tv for all the latest information and show updates.